Here we are at the end of 2024. Another year gone, which means another year of Barbie Fashionistas on the books, which means it's time for me to rank all of the Barbie Fashionistas that I bought this year. Now, before we get started, I like to look over the statistics of the Barbie Fashionistas released this year before I start my ranking. So let's talk about what were the statistics. Well, there were 24 Barbies released this year, Barbie Fashionistas. Of those dolls, 18 were Barbie dolls, 6 were Ken dolls. For the Barbie dolls, there were a lot of different body types, and the most popularly used body type was the original body type. There are 8 dolls that came out with an original body type. And the next most popular was the curvy body type. There were 3 of those. There were 2 petites released this year and 2 talls. And then there's only one of the 2018 body type. I like to call that one the sporty body type, which is not the official name. And then there's also, because that one doesn't have an official name, and then there was also one petite curvy. Again, not the official name, but that's just what I call that body type. For the Kens, all the body types were used equally. So there were 2 originals, 2 slims, 2 broads. Now, face mold statistics. The most used face mold this year was, drumroll, the Millie face mold. A shocker, I know. Technically, one of those Millie face molds was the closed mouth face mold. So if you're putting that into account, Millie did tie with Daya and the Mbili face mold, which also both had 2 dolls released in those respective face molds. There were no repeated Ken face molds. All the Kens had different face molds. And then last but not least, there were 6 new face molds released in the Fashionista line this year. So 25% of the Barbie Fashionistas this year had a new face mold, which I think is pretty cool. Before I tell you my rankings, I just like to lead with the fact that this is the definitive ranking. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This isn't just my opinion. I am the official Mattel spokesperson on this matter of Barbie Fashionistas. So if you don't like my rankings, I'm just gonna have to take it up with Mattel. Sorry about that. No, just kidding. I just like to say, it is just my opinion. And if I hate your favorite doll, I hope we can still be friends. No hard feelings. But if you hate my favorite doll, my very least favorite fashionista from this year was 230, who comes in 24th place. I always feel a little bad to put someone in last place, but 230 is so generic and bland that I don't actually feel too bad. And really, there's not too much to say about her other than she's a forgettable doll we've seen before. My 23rd ranked doll is Fashionista 217. That was about 230, but 217 irks me because she's basically Fashionista 182, but worse, with horrible pixelization and gigantic eyes that make her look like a bug. So rank 23 for 217. Number 22 goes to Fashionista 223, who's another Millie, and this is the main reason that she's so low in the ranking. I already have all the Millies that I want, but one positive in her favor is that she has some interest added with the crimped hair and earrings, but overall, still a generic Millie doll. Fashionista 213 slides into the 21st slot, and she's the last of our Millies this year. I prefer the closed mouth sculpt to the regular Millie sculpt, and I do like this doll's blue eyeshadow, and she was successful in referencing the original 1959 Barbie, but like I said before, I don't need any more Millies in my collection. My 20th spot goes to Fashionista 226. This face sculpt has grown on me, and he's one of the only Fashionistas this year with smooth, non-pixelated face paint. However, I already have one of this head sculpt, so I basically already have this doll, and he's not that new or exciting. I put Fashionista 219 in the 19th spot, and that wasn't on purpose. While 219 does look different than his head mold twin Fashionista 154, which is a plus, I prefer Fashionista 154 to him, and 219 doesn't inspire any intense feelings in me one way or another, so that's why he's number 19. My 18th ranked fashionista is 233, and she's another case of I already have this face mold in my collection, and I like that doll, who's fashionista 135 in this case, better. Plus, her pixelization makes her face features look blurry, and that is the reason she's so low on the list. Fashionista 220 gets the 17th place this year. He is handsome, don't get me wrong. Also, I love a broadkin, and I appreciate the fact that Mattel has included someone with hearing aids in this lineup. But I have this doll, albeit sans hearing aid, already in Fashionista 153. So you may be detecting the trend that I'm just not a huge fan of getting duplicate dolls. With that being the case, you wouldn't think 16th place would go to Fashionista 227, especially given I put him on a made to move body, and not a lot of the fashionistas this year got that treatment. I do love his luscious hair, his new face mold, his perfectly groomed beard. However, there's something off about his face. If I look at him too long, he starts to look fish-eyed, like his eyes got printed too low or off center, which is why he landed where he did. With how much I complained about this doll, I surprised myself by putting 235 in 15th place. We've already established that I don't like repeats, I don't like pixelization, and 235 is essentially Ken Fashionista number 10, but much worse with pixelization. But look at him! Yes, he's pixelated, but he's so handsome. I had to put him here. Still, I had to recognize unique dolls by putting 236 in 14th place. Even though he shares a head mold with Fashionista 212, Fashionista 236 is his own doll, and handsome at that. In fact, despite my original feeling that 236 was just fine, he ended up as my top ranked Ken this year. In 13th place is Fashionista 225, which brings us into my favorite dolls of this year. 225 has a new face mold and gorgeous soft curls, which I love. While I'm not the biggest fan of her dress, that can easily be changed. The one thing keeping her from going higher in my ranking is the kind of cartoony quality in her face paint. With the pixelization, she just looks a tad too plastic for me. Fashionista 228 comes in at 12th rank. I'm a sucker for brown haired dolls, and I love her outfit. It's one of the best of this whole year. Plus, I'm glad Mattel included a doll with vision impairments this year. There's nothing actually that I dislike about her. I just connected with the upcoming fashionistas a little more than I did with this doll in particular. Fashionista 231 takes 11th place, and there's a lot that I like about this doll. Her face mold has a skin tone and face paint that's different than we typically see with the Mbili face mold, and I love the subtle purple highlights. If this doll had less pixelization, she probably would have been a bit higher in my ranking, but I still really like her. She's a cutie. I surprised myself again with who I put in the number 10 spot, Fashionista 218. Initially, I wasn't really feeling this doll with her ice blue eyes and glacier blue hair. I just thought she looked too unnatural, but she slowly crept up on me this year. She's definitely different than the other dolls that I have in my collection, and I do love me some Daya face molds. Ranked number 9 is Fashionista 224. She was one who I didn't think much of when I saw her promo pictures, but then I held her in my hands and I got it. Just love her sweet new face mold and her natural makeup look. I had to put her on a made to move body as soon as I unboxed her. She's one of the top for this wave. Sliding into the 8th spot is Fashionista 215. She's another doll who is almost a repeat of a previous fashionista, in this case Fashionista 147. However, this time I prefer the new doll, and 215 actually replaced 147 for me in my collection. I know, shocking. I just love this doll's makeup. It's so soft and pretty. So I had to put her on her made to move body right away. My 7th favorite doll is Fashionista 229. I love this doll. She has a new face mold, such pretty hair, and she uses a unique body type that I call petite curvy. She is the second Barbie Fashionista with Down syndrome, and I don't have another doll like her in my collection, so she's one of my favorites from this year for sure. Spot number 6 goes to Fashionista 221. This Mbili / Grace Beauty is another doll who defies my preferences.
Despite the pixelization and a face that's similar to others that I have, I adore 221. She is just a fitting recreation of the first Black Barbie. I love her hairstyle, her red lip, facial expression, body type. Everything about her is perfect. We now get into the top 5 with Fashionista 234. She is a new head mold with brown hair and natural looking makeup, which are so many of my doll preferences hitting all at once in this Fashionista. Even though I hate her outfit, probably the worst and the tackiest of 2024, this doll is just so good that I overlooked the outfit. My 4th favorite Fashionista this year is Fashionista 216. She is gorgeous and one of the few fashionistas who I loved everything about, from her outfit to her face to her makeup to her earrings. 216 is just so glamorous and beautiful. No notes, 10 out of 10, and I love her outfit. Definitely one of the best released this year. Number 3 of the 2024 fashionistas is 222. She's yet another fashionista who's almost too beautiful for words. I adore her golden theme. She is just an iconic reimagining of the Golden Dreams doll. And all of the elements of this doll, her hair, makeup, outfit, accessories, come together to create a stunner who's at the top of my favorites this year. My 2nd favorite fashionista is 214. At this stage, it's so hard to differentiate between my favorite dolls. Literally, the slightest hair's breadth separates my top 4 dolls. But what pushed 214 to the top is her edginess. I just love the red hair peeking under. She's so effortlessly cool and feels like a new character in my doll collection. And thus, she beats out the 21 fashionistas who came before her. But she's not quite the top. My number 1, my top fashionista of 2024 is 232. That's right. This late addition to the fashionistas wave has stolen my heart. There's just something about a petite doll with a proportional head that I adore. I was so excited to have a petite made-to-move body match for this girl. Plus, her gorgeous red hair, striking green eyes. She just drew me in. 232 has an entire own personality, and the second I saw her, I knew she was my favorite, and she gets to be crowned the number 1 fashionista of 2024.
So there you have it, my feelings on the 2024 Barbie Fashionistas. Now, my feelings sometimes change over time, and actually, especially with the top dolls, like 1 through 5, the rankings are a little fluid, where one day I might feel a certain way, but if you ask me tomorrow, I might have a slightly different order for my top dolls. But in general, that's how I feel about the Barbie Fashionistas. And the ones at the bottom, they're staying there. They're not moving. And as you remember, that's the official Mattel rankings. So nothing I can really do about, the ones on the bottom. And if you disagree, you just leave me a comment and I'll just pass it along to Mattel headquarters that, they misranked the Barbie Fashionistas this year. Finally, I just want to close this video by saying thank you so much for watching. And thank you for watching if you watched any of my videos this year. Barbies are one of my favorite hobbies, and I'm so thankful that I get to share it with you guys through this YouTube channel. Now, if you have any different thoughts on the rankings, or you just want to share your top dolls from this year, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very happy new year, and I'll catch you in the next one. It's fashionista time. Bye-bye. You would tell me if I have lipstick on my teeth, right? Okay, good. Just checking my teeth. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very happy new year, and I'll catch you